Hello and welcome. This is Swahili Visualized for English speakers. Our goal is to provide an environment for English-speaking people who want to learn a foreign language, Swahili. What is Swahili and how did Swahili come about? Swahili is a language that's widely spoken along the East African coast in countries like Kenya, Tanzania, parts of Somalia, southern parts of Ethiopia, southern parts of Sudan, Uganda, east and central parts of Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, parts of Zambia, parts of Malawi, parts of Mozambique, parts of Zimbabwe, and also parts of South Africa, Swaziland, Eswatini, and Lesotho. A version of Swahili is also spoken in Madagascar and the Comoros Islands. How did Swahili come about? Swahili arose from intermarriages between the Arabs, mostly from Oman and generally the Arabian Peninsula, with the Bantu-speaking people along the East African coast, so along the coast of Kenya and Tanzania. The Arab traders came to East Africa during the Indian monsoon current season. During the winter, the monsoon winds flows in the southwesterly direction. So it goes towards the southwest. It comes all the way from the Arabian Peninsula, bringing the Arab ships or boats, actually DOWs, DHOWS, from the Arabian Peninsula to the East African coast. And that will be during the winter or the cold season, allowing the Arab merchants vessels to come to the East African coast. And then the Arabs will stay and wait for the next season of the monsoon that will come during the summer, when the wind will be flowing back in the reverse direction to the Arabian Peninsula. And the dhows were actually sailboats. This allowed the Arab traders coming to the East African coast to interact with the Bantu-speaking people along the East African coast, and also intermarry because they had to stay for a long time before the next season of the monsoon winds. And this resulted in a unique language called Swahili that had a mixture of both Bantu language and Arabic words. Just like other languages, Swahili has grown over time and has incorporated words from other people, including Indians, and as you can see, there's a direct access to Indian Ocean and also to India from East Africa. The Portuguese, who came to East Africa while looking for a sea route to India, and also English. The Portuguese explorers came as merchants and established forts along the various cities on the East African coast. Hence the name Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean arose because the Portuguese were able to find a sea route to India from the East African coast all the way to India. And the reason was because the Ottoman Empire, present-day Turkey, was controlling the land route to India. And the Europeans wanted to get access to trade in spices, which was coming from India, but it could not do this through the land route because that was controlled by the Ottoman, who were Muslims, while the Europeans were mostly Christians. The British initially came as explorers and missionaries and also adventurers, and later as colonialists, where several African countries were colonized by the British, including Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, and Egypt. And later on, after the First World War, Tanzania, because after the First World War, all the German territories were declared as mandate territories, and Tanzania was given to the British. The Indians originally came as traders and businessmen, and some were brought by the British colonialists to help with the construction of the Mombasa-Uganda Railway. And you can read a very nice story about the man-eaters of Savo, where the British were trying to build a railway line between Mombasa, that's the East African coast, to Uganda, all the way to Uganda. But when the railway line reached Voi, around Voi, an area called Savo, which has a lot of lions, They got into a situation where 2 lions were terrorizing the railway builders, and actually around 120 to 140 people were eaten by lions. You can look for books or movies, The Man-Eaters of Savo or The Ghost in the Darkness, a very interesting story. There were various Bantu-speaking people or languages along the East African coast, leading to more than 13 dialects of Swahili. So each of these East African regions had different Bantu dialects. The standard Swahili that is adopted, that's mostly spoken in Kenya, is called Kiunguja. And Unguja is actually the name of Zanzibar. So this was the original Swahili dialect that was spoken in Zanzibar. Thank you very much for your audience. If you enjoyed this presentation, please like the video and also subscribe. And also look for a link in the comment section to a Google Doc. We're trying to see if there are people who are interested in Swahili lessons, and then once we have a good number of people signing up, we'll start a virtual online Swahili classes. So if you're interested in Swahili classes, please sign up. Thank you very much. Kwaheri. Bye.